All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. I don't know why I didn't do that before I started the thing. I wasn't talking, that's why. So there was nothing there. I know it's a little noisy in the background, but it is what it is. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you for probably about 45 minutes. Yeah, I got to get out of here at 6. So, yeah, I'm only here for a little bit. That's right, Sierra. I still don't know why you hate me. I just don't know why you hate me. What did I do to you? But that's okay. One day we'll dig deep into it and figure out why. Let me say hello to the people. First out the gate, Erica Hummins representing Reading. Good afternoon, Erica. We got Anthony Prosser in the house. Good afternoon. Deborah Simmons. Good afternoon. Louis Talbert. Good afternoon. Nick Brown. Good afternoon. David Herring in the house. Good afternoon. Dina Johnson. Good afternoon. Did I say David? Yeah. Crystal Hoskins, good afternoon. Sierra, good afternoon. Don't believe anything Sierra says about me. I'm just telling you, don't believe it. Brenda Early, good afternoon. Got Samuel Campbell Jr. in the house, good afternoon. Our own Wonder Woman, Jacqueline Carter, good afternoon. I don't know where Myosha is. I hadn't seen or heard, and so I text her, and she didn't answer me for a little while. And I was like, did I do something to you? But, I haven't seen or heard from my rich friend Myosha. But if you're out there, Myosha, I love you and I miss you. I said that smiling, but I mean it genuinely. Brent, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Let's get into it, because I don't have much time. Let me say, I was asked about this yesterday, hadn't seen it, but I saw it, and of course I heard all of the fallout about it. I support Victoria Parks. Victoria Parks, if you out there, I support you. I support you just making it plain. Making it plain. You get into a situation that she didn't say, she's happy that they got beat down or anything like that. She said they begged for that beat down. And they did. The situation looked like it was being, kind of de-escalated. And then that guy just decided he was going to escalate it. In that big crowd of people, you want to escalate a situation, you asking for it. That don't mean they had to give it to you, but you're asking for it. And I personally think when she was saying she's what exactly did she say? They begged for that beat down. I'm grateful for the whole story. It makes sense to me now. So I believe she's saying she's grateful that the whole story came out. Because y'all know, initially it was just, some white people got beat up downtown by some black people, and that's horrible. Oh, that's horrible. But then, later on, some people said, hey, wait a minute. That dude slapped that dude. Everything was broken up, and then he aggressed. He became the aggressor, and he slapped that dude. And I perceive she's saying, I'm glad the whole story came out. Not just the part to make black people look bad to some people, but the whole story. They begged for that beat down, and I'm grateful for the whole story. That's what I perceive she was saying, and I don't see anything wrong with that. And y'all notice how they keep focusing on the lady who got knocked out, which is bad. That's bad. I don't want to see people get knocked out. You don't want to see men in particular knocking out women. That's bad. I'm pausing so there's a hard stop because, somebody going to be like, you making excuses. You making excuses for them. You trying to use that slap as an excuse. No, I said it's bad. That lady was in there fighting. It's not as if she was just some innocent bystander or she was some damsel in distress saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then somebody just socked her. If you watch that video, she was a part of the brawl. But they focus it on her because I guess they feel like, well, she didn't throw the first lick. She didn't throw the first lick, so she's innocent. But no, she was hitting people. She was swinging. She was snatching off wigs. You know what I'm saying? She was involved. So they want you, because those little white tears and all of that kind of stuff, they're powerful for some people. But, hey, if you in it, you in it. And if you know what I'm saying, you hitting people, you snatching wigs, you this and you that. You part of it. So I see what she's saying. They begged for that beat down. Now, I'm not going to, because, I heard somebody was kicking a car and all that kind of stuff. I didn't see that. I've heard it. I don't know if that's true. But they was asking for a beat down. I like that Victoria Parks made it plain. I like that Victoria Parks made it plain. Because really, people don't want to say that. Like, they asked for it. In essence, that's what she's saying. They asked for it. I have this little story. It's a true story. When I lived in Hawaiian Village, we had went up to Highview, and a melee broke out. Not the one where the dude had the stick. That's still funny. But a melee broke out. And there was this one dude. And we were teenagers. But I had to be in the 9th grade maybe. That put me, about 13? We were teenagers. This had to be like a grown man. He was a big dude. Like, he was a big dude. I mean, like, even by grown man standards, this dude was a big dude. And we were out, if you want to call it wilding or whatever, just, being loud and rowdy. And then somebody kind of had a party of some sort. And, people was coming in and out of his building. And he came out and he was standing there and he was telling all of the kids, or all of the people, because everybody wasn't a kid. He was telling all of the people, like, get out of here, y'all making too much noise. Get out of here, y'all making too much noise. And then some guy, who I don't think was a kid, it was a grown person, but he was a smaller grown person. He ran up on dude and, sucker punched him. I know people say sucker punch, and they don't know what a sucker punch is. So, it was a sucker punch. You don't know what a sucker punch is. A sucker punch ain't just me and you squared up and then you hit me. You didn't sucker punch me if that's what's happening. That's not a sucker punch. Dumb. I was about to say dumb something, but I caught myself. That's not a sucker punch. We squared up and you throw the first punch. You didn't sucker punch me. You just threw the first punch. A sucker punch is, I'm not paying no attention. My My attention is somewhere else, whatever. Now, I have no idea that this is about to go down, and out of nowhere, boom, you hit me. That's a sucker punch. I'm ordering Chipotle, and I ain't had no beef with nobody in the line, and the person behind me just come up and sock me. That's a sucker punch. If we arguing, well, do something. And he punched me, that's not a sucker punch, okay? Just to be clear. But so this guy sucker punches this guy. And this guy is real big again. I can't emphasize how big this guy was. And he socks the other guy, the little guy who punched him. And everybody was like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. And his response was a simple response. Like, what was I supposed to do? Just let him hit me? I can't. He asked for that. And he was knocked out, by the way. He asked for it. By virtue of him socking me. That is just a flat out open request for me to knock him the F out. And that's what he did. Everybody was trying to make him feel bad. I could tell he didn't feel bad at all. He didn't necessarily want to do it. He didn't say this, but in his mind, I could imagine him thinking, if I let this dude just hit me, somebody else gonna hit me because I'm saying something that they don't like. Sometimes you ask for stuff. They were asking for it. So, I think what Victoria Park said was true. They begged for that beat down, and I'm grateful for the whole story. Not just the part where the black people are the villains and the white people are the victims. That's what I perceived she was saying. She wasn't saying violence is good. None of that kind of stuff. And then, I'm reading this story, and Councilwoman Mika Owens. Well, stuff like this, y'all don't understand how frustrated I get when I see stuff like this. Like, why do you always... I'm not saying her specifically, but it's always somebody. Now, somebody might argue it's her specifically, but I don't know that. Why is it always somebody? Just, if they come to you and ask you about what Victoria Parks had to say, you don't even have to comment on what Victoria Parks had to say. You just make your statement. Make your statement. Councilmember Livingston, what do you think about what Councilmember Parks had to say? I'll tell you what I have to say. The entire ordeal was just bad. And I think Cincinnati can do much better. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to speak on what Victoria Parks had to say. Mika Owens released a statement saying, making comments that inflame a violent incident is never acceptable. See, that's not inflaming a violent incident. At least from my perspective, it's not. From my perspective, it's just making it plain. It's just making it plain. She goes on to say, it's not beneficial to the city nor the region when she advocates for violence as a means for retribution. I did not perceive that as what that post said. That was not advocating for violence. No, that was saying, look, sometimes don't start none, won't be none. Ken says, Who requests a knockout? Somebody who do something that'll get them knocked out. That's what you're requesting. If you are in a situation where you know, number one, you're at a huge disadvantage. Again, I'm not going to, and I'm using the Taste of Blue Ash just because I went up there and it was a lot of Caucasian people. I'm not going to the Taste of Blue Ash, wait till everybody drunk, and then, slap a cowboy. If I do that, I'm begging for a beatdown. I'm begging for one. And believe me, they'll give me one. Especially if people trying to break up a situation. I get into an argument with a good old boy and people trying to break it up, and I reach out and slap the fire out of him and call him some racial slurs. I'm begging for a beatdown. In case y'all didn't know, that's what that is. So it's not advocating for violence as a means for retribution. It's just being real. But I told y'all yesterday, there are some people, usually those people who feel like they've arrived. And they really need to be liked by white people. They gonna always find a way to, is the word ingratiate themselves? She could have just not issued a statement. She could have issued a statement like Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney. And they mad about Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney's statement too. Hold on, let me see if I can. Jan Michelle. What did Jan Michelle say? I saw her statement. Hold on. Instigators. Well, let me read her whole statement. Let us be clear. We do not condone violence. We condemn the violent actions of the instigator or instigators of the fight, as well as the violent actions of those who responded to the provocation. Opportunists are trying to use this incident as a way to divide us racially and politically and cast our great city in a false and negative light. Every city has challenges, and we confront our challenges head on. We must stand together and work for justice, knowing that a united Cincinnati is strong and victorious. That is, I want to say it's as middle of the road as it can be. They're mad because she suggests that there might have been instigators. There were. See, you're not right if you even suggest in this situation that those white people could have been wrong in any way. The only right answer is white equals right. If you're not 100% on white equals right, they mad at you. They have a narrative that they trying to spin, and it's too many people, that kind of watch the video and that are like, wait a minute, there's blame to go around. And if you saying, it's blame to go around, they don't like you. They don't like you. Yeah, you got a Fox 19. I'm going to do my little air quotes, even though y'all know I hate air quotes. Fox 19, the headline, instigators provoke group into violent actions in downtown brawl, vice mayor says. They are not happy with Jan Michelle. They are not happy. And you know, to me, I would have loved for her to add something in there about everybody involved need to be prosecuted. Oh, they would have really went crazy then. Wait, is she calling for the prosecution of white people? Oh, they'd have really been mad. But she didn't even go that far. She just was real enough to say, yeah, there were some, they were wrong too. That's it. When you really boil that down, that's all she was saying. They were wrong too. And then some people like, well, but as a city council person, as a official, you can't say that kind of stuff. Why can't you tell the truth? If you're a city official, why can't you tell the truth? I would never understand the fact that we expect so-called city leaders, city officials, we expect them to not be real people. Like something happens inside of them in your mind that they're not supposed. Oh no, we just like our city officials to, you know, sanitize everything that they say because they have an image to that. Man, forget all of that. Keep it plain. Tell it like it is. And like I said, they're not even keeping it as plain as I would love for them to keep it. They're not even, you know, as much as I would love for them to be like, hey, because I would hold a press conference. And I would say, look, I watched the video. And them white people was out of order. They started it. They was wrong. He slapped that man, and what you just expect a man to get slapped? And you just expect bystanders to stand around and watch that? No. Now that I think the response went too far. And so everybody was wrong. But as an official in this city and as a black man, I'm not going to stand here or sit here or, you know, whatever and just let y'all pretend like the only people who did anything wrong was black. And I'm calling for the prosecutor or the police chief to make arrests, not just to black suspects, but to white suspects as well. I saw a still. I like the still because it's the white man's hand on the black man's face. And I would have that still up and say, this is assault. And the person who did this should be assaulted. Should be arrested. They got assaulted. They should be arrested. They would hate me. I would be getting death threats too. Tony says, hi from New Mexico. All right, out there in New Mexico. Hello. Thank you for, you know, I don't know, vacation, whatever, but thank you for checking us out. And I know Vernon Jordan seems to have been on the, not just him, but, you know, he seems to have been on the, because some people, like, I don't know if y'all saw Fame, but he posted, they got this picture floating around that's allegedly of the lady who got knocked out. It's allegedly her face, and she got a black eye and, bloody lip or whatever. And that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? I wish her well, just like I wish everybody well. But I'm sorry, she don't get no extra special sympathy from me. What happened to her was bad. But I'm sure the other people who got hit didn't like getting hit. I mean, I wish her well. But, man, some of y'all are really acting like we got a black eye, massa. We got a busted lip, massa. Like, do y'all want to put up a shrine or a monument to her downtown? Why are you posting this picture on your page? And why are people posting like they sad and crying about it? It's bad. Yeah, it looked bad. And I wish her well. But this is going to sound insensitive, and it might be. I don't mean it that way. But for real, you on Facebook posting crying emojis and stuff like that about this lady getting knocked out, and there's literal kids starving to death in Gaza, and you ain't got nothing to say about that. You spent all your emotional capital on this lady who got knocked out because I don't know if it was her husband or somebody was with her, decided to, re-escalate a situation. She decided to jump in and she got knocked out. I'm not saying don't feel some sympathy for her, but y'all crying? Y'all crying about it. Now, I never saw the movie Durango Unchanged because, I can't mess with Quentin Tarantino. I think he a racist because he uses the N-word too much for my taste, but he won't use the K-word. But I seen that meme. Apparently, when Leonardo DiCaprio, and if I get any of this wrong, forgive me. Apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio's character got killed, and Samuel L. Jackson's character was crying. And yes, I say crying. Was crying. That's how y'all look to me. That's how y'all look to me. Posting this lady picture, talking about the black community and how the whole black community get blamed. Somebody better go to jail for this. Somebody in jail for it. But why is it that big of a deal to you? All of Jericho, people get knocked out all the time. I'm not gonna lie. When I said that's allegedly a picture of the lady, first, I don't know if that's an actual picture of that lady. Because. I just don't. Secondly, they can do amazing things with makeup nowadays. I'm not saying that this is made up. That they put a little, as we used to say, they put some extra stank on it, but they might have put a little extra stank on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, got somebody, because, in Hollywood, not just in Hollywood, there are makeup artists that can make stuff look really bad. Like, they could put some makeup on you and ain't nobody touched you, and now look sad. Big black eye, big busted lip, like, oh yeah, he got effed up. And it wasn't nothing but makeup. I'm not saying that was the case. I'm not saying it was, but look, I've seen a white dude get knocked out, right? And I felt bad for him. It happened right in front of me. We was sitting at a table. He hadn't done anything. When I tell you he hadn't done anything, he legit hadn't done anything to anybody. He was just sitting there eating his food, and out of nowhere, a dude jumped up out of his seat, sucker punched him right in his eye. And he sat there. I know he was so caught off guard. And his eye immediately, I had never seen this actually happen. His eye just immediately swole up, got black, and one little tear came down. The whole time he was just sitting there. His facial expression was just, it was always like he was in shock. And people jumped up and grabbed the dude and, whatever. But he just sat there for a minute, and I'm looking at him like, what the hell? I saw that dude, a few days later. He didn't look that bad. He still had a, little black eye and everything, but it wasn't like what's showing in that picture. So I don't know. I question whether or not how much of that was enhanced. But either way, enhanced or not, you ain't be socking people and knocking them out. But I support Victoria Parks making it plain. I'm against Mika Owens. I don't know what you call it. I don't want to call it anything exceptionally offensive. So I'm not going to say she was like cooning or, nothing like that. So I don't know exactly what you call it. But she had to make sure that there were, or at least I feel like, she was making sure that that segment of the community knew that she stands with them. And I just, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I liked Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney's statement. And I know if you like me, like you want to wake up and this whole thing just be over. But it ain't over. Has AFTAB held his press conference yet? AFTAB is coming back. He coming back, hold his press conference. He's supposed to be holding a press conference at some point today. I want to wake up and, we've moved on from this. We collectively said something bad happened. Basically a fight broke out, break out probably every weekend, during the summer in Cincinnati. And the authorities, if nobody was arrested, typically everybody just walk away. They go their own business. The person who got knocked out, you pick them up, put them in the car, take them home. If you want to take them to the hospital, you take them to the hospital. So they might have a concussion, make sure everything is all right. And then that be that. I just want us to move on. Something bad happened. It's not reflective of white people. It's not reflective of black people. It's reflective of those people. And if we're going to charge anybody, we're going to charge everybody. And that's that. We got Ohio State Patrol coming down. Let's just blow something out of proportion. I'm tired of it, but it ain't going nowhere. Again, it's not national news. It's international news. I'm surprised Donald Trump ain't said nothing about it. He'll try anything to get the attention off that daggone Epstein stuff, which I think we all agree is a more likely chance than not that he went to Epstein's island, that him and Epstein did some stuff with some little girls that they had no business doing. So I'm surprised he ain't said nothing about it. It might be the distraction that he needs. Yeah, I was reading a story. I think I saw a story in Al Jazeera, and I know I saw one on the BBC. Like, for real, Al Jazeera is worried about a fight that happened in Cincinnati? Al Jazeera. They got other stuff to be worried about. I don't know if they in Russia or if they not in Russia. I have no idea. I don't know if they're Russian, if they're not. How do we know that these people are Russian? Everybody keep talking about they going back to Russia. How do we know that these people are Russian? Where did we get that information from? Because I've heard it, I don't know how many times, but y'all know me. I don't believe everything I hear. You know, just because I hear it or a lot of people say it, I don't necessarily believe it. Shahira said, where's that? Where's what? I don't know what you're asking. Why is Al Jazeera reporting on anything about Cincinnati? Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But that's how blown out of proportion this story has gotten. I'm telling you, I think I saw something about it on Al Jazeera. Because, you know, they have, you know, you don't just have to be in the Middle East to, they report news. If you got Al Jazeera reporting about it. Al Jazeera is not a place. Okay. That's why I was confused. Al Jazeera is not a place. It's a news organization. And I don't know exactly where it's headquartered, but you get a lot of Arab news from, I'll tell you that, remember during 9/11, everything was going on. Al Jazeera, one thing that American propagandists was saying, you know, like, you know, Al Jazeera was propagandist for the terrorists. Basically because they was reporting fairly. But, you know, they report a lot on stuff that happens in the Middle East. And so they were reporting on that. And at one point, the buzz by, I can't remember his name. I think it was Peter Bronson, called us the Al Jazeera of Cincinnati when I was there. Because we were giving comfort to the terrorists. This was during the so-called riots. He said we were giving comfort to the terrorists. That's, you know, Al Jazeera. They're a Middle Eastern news agency. And they're reporting on the fight in Cincinnati. Like, oh, no problem. No problem, Shahira. If I'm clear on what you're asking, and I can't answer, I don't have a problem answering. But yeah, they're reporting on the fight in Cincinnati. Like, what is the world coming to? All right, that's enough of that. I support Victoria Parks' statement. I support Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney's statement. The portion of Mika Owens' statement that I read, I don't support that or her in this at all. And that's that. That's that. Brent said, do you mean the BBC, the British Broadcasting Company? Yeah, I meant the BBC and Al Jazeera. Yeah. Daryl said, well, the Montgomery brawl reached all the way across the creek. Avtab will have his press conference tomorrow at 3 p.m., according to the news. Okay, I thought he was having it today. If he does not call for the prosecution of, as Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney called them, the instigators, I will be very disappointed. And I'm not sure that I can vote for him. Which I know plays into, the hands of, I can't vote for J.D. Vance's brother. But y'all got to do something to make me vote for y'all. And for me, it's times like this that make the difference. Shannon says they were talking like this when the weatherman was involved in a brawl. Who was talking like this? I don't know that they were. I didn't hear anybody, nobody got arrested and got $100,000 bond when the weatherman brawl. Did you hear me? $100,000 bond for a fight in downtown. Daryl say, let's talk about this chick who ran over them kids in Walnut Hills, and the 2-year-old will never walk again. Again, I'm not sure if that's true, that the 2-year-old never walk again. I know it was reported that a detective said that. The detective is not a doctor, and I don't necessarily trust what police say the doctor said and all of that kind of stuff. Thank you, Shannon. She says we're not. Okay. But that whole situation seems like that was a horrible situation. And maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, because I got to get out of here. I'm sorry I told y'all when I came on this was going to be a short show because I have a commitment, and so I have somewhere that I have to be at 6:30. So I have to get out of here and get there. But I wanted to, I don't want to admit this, and I hope Sierra is gone, but I really wasn't going to make it on today. But then Sierra kind of tried to shame me, and I had to prove her wrong. Because she don't like me. She hates me. And so, yeah. I had to prove her wrong by coming on. But I got to go. I got somewhere to be at 6:30. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for this very much abbreviated show. I do plan on being on tomorrow. I do. I always say bring back shame, and we do need to bring back shame, just not if it's me. But I do plan on being here tomorrow. And, hopefully everything goes great. Why does Sierra hate you? I don't know. I ask her all the time. Why do you hate me? She never answers. She always deflects and talks about something else. When I asked her today, why do you hate me? I love my people. What that got to do with hating me? I don't know why. Ask her. Maybe she'll tell you, because she won't tell me. Y'all enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of the evening. Like I said, I got somewhere to be at 6:30. Otherwise, y'all know me. Y'all kept me here till like 9 o'clock last night. So it ain't like, I don't give. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. I gotta go. As always, be the reason that somebody smiles today. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Before I go, I got one question. Was today the alcohol show? Was today the alcohol remote? I don't remember the name of the place, but was today the day that the remote happened from the alcohol establishment? Because if so, then I can listen to it in the car, right? Somebody let me know. Is today the alcohol show? Anybody? Oh, somebody said it's tomorrow. Okay. I want to listen to the alcohol show. All right. I'm not calling corporate. I don't have a reason to call corporate. I just wanted to know. I had to listen to the alcohol show. I listen to the remotes because I'll be like, I do have to go. I listen to the remotes because I'll be like, number one, it's always an adventure. Is it gonna start on time? What is the quality of the audio gonna be? Is it gonna drop out repeatedly? Is the live stream gonna work? How many times we gonna lose the live stream? What creative angle is the camera gonna be at? Are they gonna have more than one mic if they having guests? Because it would seem to me if you know you're gonna have guests, you would have a separate mic set up for that. But it's always like, is it gonna be a separate mic for the guests, or is it gonna be? Are they gonna use a quality mic, which they rarely ever do? They always got that little. I ain't got nothing against. I don't even think though it's a Shure. It's just a little cheap mic, and I'll be like, so I watch them, and how many times is Terrence gonna have to redirect this guy to make him look somewhat professional? Like, how many times is Terrence gonna say it's time to go to a break? How many times is Terrence gonna have to say, we back from the break? Like, how would you not have your headphones on and be listening for the cues during the break? All of that stuff. I was watching the remote one day where the music played so long, I think the whole song played. And then Terrence had to come on like, 749-1230, we the Buzz of Cincinnati. I'm Terrence Howard. Lincoln Ware is there, but he's at the remote and he doesn't hear the music. I was like, oh my God, what? Terrence had to come back from the show because the host wasn't paying attention to when the show comes back? Like, what in the world is going on? So yeah, I watched to see, all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the alcohol remote, and it'll be interesting. So I'm sorry, I came back just to say that. All right, make somebody smile today. Peace.